Hello students, I'm Dimple Tyagi is here with you again. Today I will summarize you the poem 9 Gold Medals. This poem is written by David Lee Roth. It is a very interesting poem, describe a great event of 100-meter race organized for differently abled racers during Special Olympics. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze. Many weeks and months of training, all coming down to these games. In the first stanza, the poet tells us how there are many athletes present to participate in the Special Olympic. They have come from all over the world and in numerous countries. The medals they are competing for gold, silver and bronze. Further, it tells us the rigorous training these athletes go through for many months in order to partake in these events for winning a medal. Now let's start with the second stanza. The spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on all the young women and men. The final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. The second stanza takes us through the large audience which is present there as it cheers on for the participants. We see how many cheers on through the day and enjoy merrily. Finally, the last event arrives, which is a race. It is one of the most awaited events of the day. The blocks were all lined up for those who would use them, the 100-yard days, and the race to be run. These were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. In these lines, the announcers have announced the name of the runners who are going to participate in this 100-meter race. In total, 9 people are participating, and all of them wish to win as they lined up behind the starting point. All of them are now waiting for the sound of the gun. Now let's start with the next stanza. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners, all charging ahead. But the smallest among them, he stumbled and staggered and fell to the asphalt instead. As in these lines, the poet tells us that as the pistol explodes, it is a signal for the race to begin. Thus, all the runners charge ahead along their particular tracks. However, an unexpected incident occurs. The shortest athletes stumbles and staggers and eventually falls on his knees to the ground. Let's come to the next line of the poem. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish, his dreams and his efforts dashed in the dirt. But as sure I am standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. In this stanza, the poet takes us through the emotions of the differently abled athlete experience when he falls. How frustrating it is to go through this after training rigorously for such a long time. As he falls, he sees his dreams and aspiration come crashing down. Thus, he lets out a cry because of pain and frustration. Now, move ahead to the next stanza. The 8 other runners pull up on their heels. The one who does trained for so long to compete, one by one they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. In this stanza, the poet tells us, however, the scene does not end there. A strange thing happened after he falls. The other athletes who are ahead of him stop and return one by one. They do so to help him out and make him stand up on his feet. At this point, they see past all their hard work and training throughout the years. After picking him up, they joined hand and start walking toward the finishing line together. So, you see how they reduced the 100-meter race to a walk. However, it was better because we got to see the grand demonstration of human compassion, teamwork, and sportsman spirit. Finally, the stanza tells us that as the athletes ended the race together, hand in hand, they all win 9 gold medals. Everyone gets one as they deserve it. With their smiling faces, the sportsmen stand together under the banner of Special Olympics. Seeing all these athletes smiling heartily touched the heart of the audience. In other words, the gesture delivered a special message as well as a great lesson, so the poet feels mere poem cannot do justice to the whole experience. And thus the poem ended with the 9 gold medals.